For 40 years, he'd been planning wars on this chessboard. Park visitors thought he was just a quiet, harmless old man, until an F-16 pilot sat down and started making moves. The pilot froze after the third move because the old man across from him had just executed a maneuver he'd never seen in any military textbook. And this was only the beginning. Table 7 in Central Park, the locals call him the Ghost, shows up every day at the same time, plays chess, never loses. Captain Jake Morrison had 30 minutes to kill before his next briefing. Just a simple game of chess, or so he thought. When Jake approached the table, the old man looked up without a word and started resetting the board. Silence. First move, then the second. These were standard opening moves, but when the third move came, everything changed. The old man moved his knight. Jake's eyes widened. This wasn't just a chess move. This was a flanking maneuver he'd learned at the Air Force Academy. But that was impossible. Jake made his countermove, but now he wasn't just thinking about the game. He was studying the man across from him. The old man's posture, the way he calculated before each move, even how his fingers gripped the pieces. Every detail screamed military discipline. And then the old man spoke for the first time. Just one word. Interesting. But the way he looked at Jake when he said it, it was like he knew his rank, his unit, even what kind of aircraft he flew. As the game continued, Jake noticed something. The formation on the chessboard. It looked familiar, very familiar, like he'd seen it before. When the old man made his next move, Jake's breath caught. The chessboard in front of him was no longer just a game. This was an exact replica of Operation Desert Storm's opening airstrike formation. Every piece represented a squadron of aircraft. Jake pulled out his phone with trembling hands. This couldn't be a coincidence. He needed to call someone. But first, he kept staring at the old man, and what he saw terrified him. The old man's eyes were no longer the eyes of an elderly chess player in the park. These were the eyes of someone who'd seen real war. The old man moved his queen while speaking in a whisper, as if talking to himself, but Jake could hear every word. 40 years, 3 months, 15 days. That's how long I've been sitting at this table. That's how long nobody has recognized these moves. Jake's heart raced. The man continued. Every day I repeat the same strategies, every maneuver, every formation I designed in 1991. It's like going back to those days, reliving my plans. Now, if stories like this give you chills, hit that subscribe button for Tales of Valor, because there are countless Colonel Hendersons out there, and their stories need to be told. The Gulf War. Connections started forming in Jake's mind. This man, it couldn't be possible, but the evidence was right in front of his eyes. Jake opened his phone and called his commanding officer. The conversation was brief, but enough. The old man must have heard, because he smiled. "Calling General Patterson?" he asked. "Tommy is still the same Tommy. Impatient, hasty. Tell him Ghost sends his regards." Ghost. Jake had only heard this codename in legends. The secret architect of the Gulf War, the creator of the strategies that won the war in 100 hours. Colonel William Henderson, but that man had disappeared 40 years ago. "I didn't disappear," the old man said, as if reading Jake's thoughts. "I've been right here, at this table, every day at the same time, because this is the only place where my strategies make sense. On this board, every piece matters, every move has purpose. Jake understood now. This man hadn't disappeared. He'd retired, in the only place where he could keep his life's work alive. And if you're wondering how many other heroes like Colonel Henderson are hiding in plain sight around us, make sure to subscribe to Tales of Valor, because these stories of silent service and forgotten legends deserve to be heard. Jake finished his phone call and looked at the old man. Henderson was no longer hiding. His true identity was out. "Why?" Jake asked. "Why did you wait here for 40 years?" Henderson looked at the chessboard. "Because," he said, "wars end, but strategies are forever. Every move is part of the plan that brought my brothers home. Every game honors them." That day, Jake finished his game with Henderson, and he came back the next day, and the day after that, because Jake wasn't just learning chess from Henderson. He was learning about life, about war, and most importantly, about the true meaning of service. Park visitors still see the same old man, but now Jake knows that sitting across from him is one of history's greatest military strategists. And sometimes the greatest heroes live their lives in the most ordinary places, in the most silent ways. If this story moved you, take another look at the ordinary people around you. Maybe there's a hero sitting right next to you that you never noticed. And remember to subscribe to Tales of Valor if you want to hear more stories about the heroes who walk among us every day. These are the stories that matter, the stories that honor those who served in silence.